then you can put this in your pocket or hold it, whatever is comfortable.
Okay.
To say it, you don't have to, obviously, but just feel free to like go.
It's not a big deal if I'm not like looking in the camera the whole
Don't
time.
look at the camera. Just
Oh,
feel free.
okay.
My name is Astrid, and I met Brian when he was visiting where I lived in Moscow.
I fell in love with him, and we had our first child a year later.
Brian wanted me to move to the U.S. with him, and he told me about his nice home and his cars.
He promised me that I would love life in Texas, so I agreed.
When I got to Texas, I was surprised. Brian's home was a trailer with holes in the floor.
There was no heat or air conditioning, and there were bugs and mice everywhere.
Soon after moving, we had another baby, and then Brian began hitting me.
The physical pain was there, but his words and rules hurt the worst. He only allowed 3 plates in our home.
He and our 2 kids would eat at the table, and I would have to eat their leftovers.
By luck, I met our neighbor, and one day she saw my bruises. She handed me a cell phone to call for help if I needed to.
But that night, Brian found the phone, and he moved us to a tiny shed in the middle of his land.
There was no floor, and it was the middle of the winter. Brian slept on a heated mattress, and the kids and I slept on the dirt floor with coats and gloves on.
We lived there for a year.
Our neighbor was on a walk and saw my bruises while I was outside hanging laundry, so she called 911.
One morning, when Brian was gone, a group of police cut our front lock and rushed into the shed.
That night, we went to Safe Haven Shelter. It was the first night in more than 3 years I felt heat and had a bed with clean sheets.
Safe Haven's legal team dug into my husband's past and found out that he worked for a commercial airliner.
He was making over $100,000 per year and would leave every morning to take hot showers at work while the kids and I took baths in cold water.
He was hiding savings accounts and a 401k from me, and Safe Haven helped me get half of everything. Good for her.
My kids and I left that shed with nothing but the coats we were wearing. And because of Safe Haven, we have a totally new life.
I was able to buy a house, and I'm finishing my degree now. I feel like we have a future. That's awesome.
My name is Cecilia, and my husband and I have 3 young children.
My husband had a temper, and when he would have a bad day, we would fight when he got home.
It started with him raising his voice, but eventually he began throwing things, and a couple of times he even choked me.
I went to the hospital, but when the nurses asked me about the abuse, I denied it. I was too scared to lose my babies.
Through all of that, I was always able to lean on my family. We are really close, and they even live on the same street as me.
One night, it got so bad that I ran next door to my sister's house, and we talked about what I could do.
I love him, and I just wanted him to work on his temper. So I kicked him out and let him sleep in his truck in our driveway.
My family wasn't ready to have my husband around again, so my kids and I celebrated Christmas at my parents' house without him.
When we got ready to go home on Christmas night, my 5-year-old asked if she could stay the night with her cousins.
I said yes and took my 1- and 3-year-old home.
We got ready for bed. I let my husband into the house to use the restroom and say goodnight to our kids. After all, it was Christmas. But instead, we started arguing.
He followed me into our bedroom where our kids were playing. I turned around and he had a gun.
I died instantly from the gunshot.
I died instantly from the gunshot.
I died instantly from the gunshot.
The next morning, the police found me with my 2 babies cuddled next to me on the bed. My blood stained their clothes and was matted into their hair.
It was the last night they would ever lay with me, and I would never see my 5-year-old again.
Just like I begged him not to hurt me, I'm pleading with you. Please don't forget me.
Oh my God.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That's terrible.